Holy poop, that was amazing. And so is Dragon's Dogma in many ways. I can't believe this is the first boss battle. Within 5 minutes this is what you're fighting. A snake stuck in a goat, stuck in a lion. And it looks like the goat has almost finished as well. It looks like they're having intercourse. But that's the cool part about Dragon's Dogma. Look how tired the creature became as we're wailing on its back and its hind legs. This is how every boss battle should be. Let me level with you guys. When I heard of this game's release, I was not excited, and it's mainly because of one reason. I feel that in modern day RPGs, all games try to bathe in the pool that is Bethesda. I think that every game, oh my god, look at this cutscene, it is gorgeous. Anyway, I feel that every game wishes to be an open-ended sandbox RPG, and that's what I've heard this game was rumored to be. However, the development of this game by Capcom couldn't have been a better thing for this game. Next we have the character customization after you play as the pre-made crappy character. In this I found to be actually everything that I require out of a character customization. It's simple or in-depth. It's whatever you want it to be. Here I show you Frodo. There he is, that's Frodo. But in my case I decided to make Angel from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So there we are, here he is. And here's a big dragon that's going to rip my heart out, progressing the story to the next arc. This is what Dragon's Dogma is all about. A dragon rips your heart out, you become, I guess, immortal because he ripped your heart out, I don't know. But then he eats it, and the rest of the game you would like to retrieve your heart. Or maybe even just have a discussion with the dragon as to why he would do this. Why would he eat your heart? You only stabbed him in the hand. That is a nice portrayal of some ugly textures on the guy's shirt, I will say. But for the most part, Dragon's Dogma is a really good looking game. It just depends on what you're really looking for. The characters don't look that great, but that dragon looked amazing, and the environments can actually be something to behold as well. Good stuff. And you better hope that the dragon has a slow digestive system, otherwise he could just poop out your heart, and you would spend the remainder of the game looking for a giant pile of feces instead of confronting a dragon and having an epic showdown. Anyway, that wouldn't make for nearly as ready for game. But after the dragon does this thing with your heart, you pick one of 3 classes, the fighter, the ranger, or the mage, which I found the fighter to be completely satisfying, and you are thrusted into more combat. Now this is where the game gets really interesting and sets itself apart from most other RPGs. The combat goes, as I said before, as more of a Devil May Cry feel. There are several different button combinations you can do and different attacks, as you can see, the light attack, heavy attack, you can even grab things and throw them. It's a lot of fun. I did find there to be several small minor glitches, such as you can thrust into an empty pocket of air and an enemy near you will take damage. Notice that I just leveled up. The leveling up system is actually very satisfying to me personally. In games like Skyrim, Oblivion, or The Witcher 2, things like that, I feel like that you are just forced to sit through these screens and make these life-changing decisions of how you would like to progress your character. When you level up in Dragon's Dogma, it just takes whatever class you are, such as the fighter, and it bumps up those skill sets, much like Dungeons & Dragons. So, let me explain. My strength, my defense, and a couple of other things, maybe my vitality, have just been increased through leveling up, and I didn't have to sit through a menu at all. Also, the items kind of have a similar feel. You're not constantly looking at menus and choosing through all these different items. It doesn't ever take you away from the world. You just go to merchants and buy new moves and new items. Pawns are also a great asset of this game. It's basically a companion that you customize and hire out for mercenaries, other players on Xbox Live or PlayStation Network. My pawn just set my sword on fire so I could finish those wolves off. And now here I am, he's going to set my sword on fire again so I can stab this Cyclops in the eyes. And that's just the first 30 minutes of the game. I very much enjoy the way the difficulty works in this game. Here I stumble upon with my 2 pawns these bandits, and we attempt to fight them, but our attempt was severed. And it wasn't because we sucked. Well, it might have been because we sucked, but basically for the fact that they had a wizard that was healing them the whole time, and they had better equipment. So if there's ever a spot in this game where you feel trapped, you can just simply go and get better equipment and come back to that spot and perhaps you will succeed. So get used to seeing this screen a few times in your attempt. One thing I did notice about Dragon's Dogma is I found myself wanting to pick up every single item, every flower, every herb, anything that I could get my hands on, because they are incredibly useful and easy to do in this game. By that I mean there's not any kind of table that you have to go to, you just hit the back button or the select button, and you combine items kind of like the old Resident Evils, and it makes a new item and you test it out and see how it goes. And I've found myself in several situations where I was trapped by a boss, I had no stamina or health, and I would eat some kind of flower and get stamina or health, and I just found it to be quite satisfying. Here's my new class, the Warrior, in which I respect and bought a two-handed sword. I will say, any tip for you that are playing the game, if you respect, make sure you can afford the weapons that class accepts, because I could not afford the sword at first and had to do a boss battle bare-fisted, and that was not fun. I do enjoy the presentation of Dragon's Dogma. I think the graphics can be beautiful at times. This cavern is well executed. The spells are amazing. I do love how, say for instance, when the heal spell is casted like that, you actually have to walk through the aura of light to be healed. So you see my pawn came back there and hung out and got herself healed. There's also a lot of strategy involved. These creatures, had it not been for my pawn, I would have never defeated. I thought about running away from them until my pawn said to slice off their tails, so there you go. I sliced off the tail, and the enemy was able to be defeated in a lot easier fashion, until there were 13 of them in there. That was not so great. All in all, I think Dragon's Dogma is an outstanding game. There are some flaws. I'm not crazy about the sound design, particularly the music. I think that there are a few pop-in issues with graphics, and some of the textures just fall a little flat in my opinion. However, this game has a unique multiplayer. I do like the pawn hiring system. You know, if you want my pawn, you can bring him in your world and you can send him back with gifts. I am all for that, so let me know. But it's also a very challenging game. It's nice to look at the interesting bosses. Earlier on, there was actually a Hydra that looked like a six-headed rattlesnake. It was a very interesting way to present me with a Hydra, and I was quite pleased. Anyway, I'm going to get back to chopping up tails off these lizards. And guys, if you're just looking for a great RPG, pick up Dragon's Dogma, comment, rate, and subscribe if you enjoy the review. Thanks, guys.